Some of us have become so used to being busy that we have mistaken constant stimulation for productivity. Today, we're talking about protecting your peace, slowing down without feeling guilty, regulating your emotions, and creating a lifestyle that supports both your ambition and your well-being. Because at the end of the day, success should not cost you your peace. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of the Pretty Aligned Podcast, the space where we shift perspectives, reframe the way we think, and step into alignment with who we're truly meant to be. I'm your host, Octavia Darling, and every week we'll have real conversations that helps you reframe your mindset, overcome limiting beliefs, and create a life that feels good from the inside out. So grab your coffee, tea, your journal, or just your open mind and get ready to receive. Let's get into it. I want you to think of this episode as your gentle reminder that your nervous system needs peace too. If I wanted to regulate my nervous system, here are 3 things that I would do. The first thing is notice what is constantly draining me. You can't protect your peace if you don't know what's stealing it. Now, this may look like constantly scrolling on social media or overcommitting to showing up to different events or overworking yourself or not getting the rest that you truly need. Please stop making yourself available 24/7. It's more so a disservice than it is an honor. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference between you constantly going, whether it's good intention behind it, whether it's for good reason or whether you're just trying to stay busy so that you don't think about things that you really need to think about. All your nervous system really knows is that it needs a break. And y'all know who needs a break right now? Your girl needs a break. I was literally just thinking about this. Wow. Within this past week, I have been going between personal life, professional life, between committing to different creative projects and working with different clients and showing up for family and still trying to catch a boogie every now and then. My nervous system is seeking a peace of mind. When I went to the gym yesterday, I couldn't show up as 100%. I showed up probably at 60%. I'm glad that I showed up though, right? Because my 60% is just as good as my 100%. But I was just feeling so tired, not necessarily physically, but mentally. I feel like I need a break, a peace of mind. I need a day, a moment of just stillness. So today I kind of woke up feeling the same, I got my workout in, which was cool. I took my time, which is great. But even with my outdoor walk, normally I do about 3 miles. I could barely make it to 1 mile. And it's because I just feel very tired. I feel very burnt out. I feel like my mind is going, and I just need a break. Before I had sat down to film this podcast episode, I said, you know what, Octavia, you have even spoken about this on different episodes, how when you're feeling burnt out or you're feeling overwhelmed, that's just an indicator for you to slow down. I know what I need to do. So I pulled up at the beach and I said, after I finish filming this episode, I'm going to go sit by the water and I'm just going to be still. I'm going to be still, I'm going to be quiet, and I'm just going to let myself be, right? Slow my thoughts down, empty my brain actually, and just be present, right? Allow myself to connect with God, just ground myself, do what I need to do to regain my peace of mind. Sometimes, a lot of times, we need that. It shouldn't take for us to get to a point of burnout to where we decide to finally slow down. We need to also schedule in those grounding practices to be a part of our daily routines so that it's not something that we are always seeking out, but it's a part of our lifestyle. The second thing that I would do is create space for quiet. Your mind, our minds need moments where nothing is demanding our attention. If there's one thing I love, it's being still. I love when I have no obligation to anyone or anything in a moment, right? And now that I'm saying this aloud, I'm going to start blocking off time on my calendar just so I can cater back to those grounding, still moments. I used to do them in the mornings, but life happens, right? Because something I've realized is that your biggest breakthroughs happens when you're quiet, when you're still, when you're present. The third thing that I would do is build routines that calms you instead of rush you. Because your daily habits, they either regulate your nervous system or they constantly activate it. I want you to take a moment and really reflect on what your daily routines look like and ask yourself, do I have routines that supports my peace or competes with it? And honestly, I'm going to do this myself. I feel like I need to update some things with my routines so that it supports my peace of mind, not something that competes with it, right? I want to constantly feel regulated. I want my nervous system to always experience peace. I don't want to always feel like, well, I don't always feel like this, but I don't want to get comfortable with the feeling of overwhelm or busyness or burnout. I don't want that. I need a healthy balance. And maybe someone who's listening to this episode needs that as well. Now, here are two mindset shifts that I would make. The first one is quite obvious, right? Because we talk about this often, and I'm sure you hear it often as well. But rest is productivity. Now, rest does not always mean sleep. Rest can look like taking yourself to a park, sitting on the grass, laying down, being still, maybe even reading a book, but quieting your mind. Rest looks like recovery. Rest looks like sustainability, and it also generates long-term success. I think that one of the most common misconceptions we often make is that rest is a reward. But it's not something that you earn after burnout. It is actually something that prevents it. Now, the second mindset shift is going to bless someone. Don't feel obligated to respond to everything immediately, because everything that's urgent isn't important. How many of you feel so compelled to respond to a text as soon as it comes in? Or to answer the phone as soon as it rings, or to reply to an email as soon as you get the notification? Now, there are certain cases where certain scenarios require your immediate attention, but not everything. And this is something I have reprogrammed my mind to believe as well. Because just because I see a notification doesn't mean I need to respond in the moment. Just because someone texts me, it doesn't mean that I have to give them my undivided attention right now. So, not feeling compelled to respond immediately can also lead to peace of mind. And this is where you are encouraged to set boundaries and choose what deserves your energy. So let's get into some relatable scenarios that does not align with a regulated nervous system that gives you peace of mind. The first one is waking up and immediately grabbing your phone. Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to me, and don't act like you don't do this, okay? I do this from time to time. But it's a habit, right? A lot of times it's not that we're grabbing our phone to even scroll. We're grabbing our phone because our alarms are on our phone, or we're grabbing our phones just to check the weather, or just to look at our calendar to see what's on the agenda today. We're grabbing our phones to see what did we miss out on while we were sleeping. So here's how you can work on that, right? You don't necessarily have to set an alarm on your phone. You can buy an alarm clock. This may seem a little inconvenient for people, but it works, right? I've had a specific alarm clock for years, and it's an alarm clock that actually doesn't make sound. Well, it makes sound if you choose the setting, and the type of sounds that it makes are birds chirping, right? But it's actually an alarm clock that replicates the sun. So when it's time for you to wake up, let's say 5 a.m., the light on the alarm clock actually gradually gets brighter as if the sun is rising. I noticed that works so well for me because I'm not the type of person that needs to be woken up by sound and all kind of alarms because it immediately dysregulates my nervous system. So it's about finding what works best for you, right? And if I was to use my phone alarm, I don't have it on sound. I just have it on vibration. So it's like I can feel the vibration. I don't need to necessarily hear it. You hear it as well, but you get what I'm saying, right? There's ways to find alternative to things that help supplement your habits of picking up your phone immediately when you wake up. The second relatable scenario is feeling busy all day, but you really haven't accomplished anything. This is like the person who is constantly doing things, yet by the end of the day, you still feel behind. Being busy and being productive are not the same thing. Now, the third scenario is the person who always feels on. You have your phone when you're working. You have your phone when you're with family. You're on your phone when you're sitting down eating dinner. You're thinking about work before bed. As soon as you wake up, work is on your mind. And you really struggle just switching your brain off. Wow. While I'm saying that out loud, I ain't gonna lie. I think that I experience this from time to time. And this is definitely something I need to work on because as an entrepreneur, I'm sure some of you can definitely relate. We're constantly thinking of new ideas, right? New business ideas. We're constantly in the headspace of, I need to do this. I want to work on this. This is a good campaign idea. Oh, let me respond to this client. We're constantly on go. But I need to create balance. And that is where my routines of calm come in. And for you too. Because now that I think about it, our minds need boundaries just like our schedules do. Take notes because these are some relatable points that I want you to remember. Constant stimulation keeps your body in a state of alert. You don't have to earn rest. Slowing down can actually improve your focus. Boundaries protect your mental well-being. Your body often tells you what your mind has been ignoring. And creating calm in your day is a form of self-respect. All right, let's get into these reflective questions that I want you to answer for yourself. What has been overstimulating me lately? When was the last time I sat in silence without reaching for my phone? Do I confuse being busy with being productive? What routines help me feel calm instead of rushed? Where do I need stronger boundaries to protect my peace? And if my body could speak today, what would it ask me for? Now, your assignment for this week is to give yourself 10 minutes of calm daily. This could look like going for an outdoor walk, maybe spending time in nature to meditate and journal, or just sitting still without your phone. I want you to take a minute and see how your mind and your nervous system reacts to that. Do you feel more peaceful? Do you feel more grounded? Do you feel aligned? Thank you for hanging out with me today on the Pretty Aligned podcast. I hope something in this episode gave you a fresh perspective or a new way to see yourself. Remember, small shifts create big change. If you loved today's conversation, then share it with a friend who needs it. And make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss the next reset. Until then, keep aligning, keep growing, and keep becoming the best version of you. I'll see you in the next episode.